diffusionism. After that, one more theory is historical particularism. So these are the next two theories that we are going to discuss. Yes, quick responses please. The next two theories we are going to discuss are diffusionism, historical particularism. Right? And not mentioned in the syllabus, but okay, they both together come under historicism, a broad school of thought called as historicism. Is it clear? This is not mentioned in the syllabus. Is it clear? This historicism word is not given in the syllabus. But what is historicism? It is a broader school of thought under which two schools of thought, that is diffusionism, historical particularism, both come under. Clear for all of you? Okay, very good. Okay, now historicism is an approach to the study of anthropology and culture that date back to the mid-19th century. It means classical evolutionism, diffusionism, these two theories, both are 19th century theories, two contemporary theories. Is it clear? Classical evolutionism, diffusionism, they both are contemporary theories. It encompasses two distinct forms of historicism. One is diffusionism, the other one is historical particularism. Is it clear? Under diffusionism, under historicism, there are two schools of thought. One is diffusionism, the other is historical particularism. And we are going to discuss about diffusionism first. And about my order, first I explained classical evolutionism. So obviously we have to complete evolutionism, right? So next we have seen neo-evolutionism. And then because neo-evolutionism is very much related to cultural materialism, we completed that. These three are similar theories. Do you agree? The first three theories that we completed till yesterday were similar theories. Okay. Next, diffusionism is opposite to the first three theories. Diffusionism is opposite, contrast, opposite to the first three theories. Clear? And then historical particularism is a compromise between the two. Okay, so two people fighting, third person came to solve the dispute. Is it clear? Okay, evolutionism, diffusionism, two opposite theories. Historical particularism is a compromise between the two. We completed similar theories. Now let us see the opposite theory, and then we will see how historical particularism compromised between the two. So now we are discussing diffusionism. So it emerged in the early 20th century. Diffusionists view that various culture traits and culture complexes, I hope you remember this structure, culture traits, culture complex, culture pattern, culture. If not, immediately revise. Is it clear? I hope you revised because you are also very seriously writing the exams. One thing I should appreciate is almost everybody is writing the exams. A good number of students are writing it. So I'm so happy for that. So you must have revised, obviously. Okay. So culture traits, culture complex, culture pattern, you have to remember that. So diffusionism views that various culture traits, culture complexes develop at various times in different places in the world and later get diffused. Is it clear? One trait, for example, one culture trait originated in Egypt, diffused to India. Or another culture trait originated in India, diffused to USA. One more culture trait originated in Britain, diffused to some Australia. So this is how each trait will be originated in one place, and from that place will get diffused to the other places. This is about diffusion. Is it clear? No. Sneha, not that. Diffusion is going from one place to the other place. What you are saying is evolution. Diffusion. Perfect example for diffusion is westernization. Indians learning Western culture. The Western dress, Western food traveled from Western countries to India, traveled from Western countries to India. Diffusionism is going from one place to the other place. Is it clear? No, not adapting, merging. Okay, so those things are more details. Basically what it is, going from one place to the other place. That is the essence of it. Okay. ओके सीखने दो रविंदर. ओके कोई नहीं रोक रहे, सीखने दो. वो भी डिफ्यूजन है. ओके वो भी डिफ्यूजन है. इज इट क्लियर? Got it. Whoever learns from the other. Okay, that is diffusion only, right? So then they believe that culture has growth not because of evolution. Culture is not growing because of evolution, but because of spread that occur due to historical happenings and mutual contact. Diffusion होने के लिए mutual contact भी चाहिए. Agreed? For diffusion, we need mutual contact. So, according to evolutionism, culture grows by evolution. But according to diffusionism, culture grows because of diffusion. And वो diffusion होने के लिए contact, historical connections. In the history, somewhere we met each other. So we copied each other. Clear till now? Cultural diffusion is a process by which culture traits discovered or invented at one place or society spread directly or indirectly to other societies or places. Simple. Any culture trait discovered or invented in one place, okay, spreads either directly or indirectly to the other society or the other place. That is called as diffusion. Now let us see certain conditions of diffusion. Any culture group that adopts culture traits of the other culture group only when they are meaningful or useful, okay, either economically or socially or both. Okay, it means, let us suppose, like when we got westernized, we did not take everything from the Western culture, right? We have taken only those elements which are meaningful here, which are useful here. For example, we did not take their religion. Okay, you are wearing the Western dress, but you are Hindu. Why? Because taking religion is not meaningful for you. That was not useful for you. But the dress was comfortable, so you have taken it. Is it clear? Okay, not religion, but dress. Food तो tasty है. Okay, बोर हुआ रोटी खा के एक बर्गर खाएंगे तो taken it. Is it clear? So that is how whatever is useful we take it. It does not mean that we have to take everything. Is it clear? Okay. Then in the course of diffusion, the culture traits do not remain in their original form. Okay. See, in Indian society notes, I have given a concept called localization. That is localization of global culture. Chinese fast food में Indian garam masala, okay, and Subway में Indian chili sauce. Is it clear? Okay, so McD में like pizza paratha, okay, so something like that. Is it clear? So this is called as local changes to Mexican pav bhaji, okay, cheese dosa, okay, so these things are localization of the global culture. It means when we take a culture element, we do not take it as it is. Okay, we take it with certain modifications according to our own interest, taste, situations, etc. Is it clear? So that is the second part. They change according to the environmental situations. Okay. Process of diffusion is always from high culture to low culture, developed culture to undeveloped culture. Okay, so then usually like from the developed culture, the undeveloped culture will take the culture elements. Okay, just like in chemistry we see now, like when you spray the perfume here in the diffusion, always it goes from high concentration to low concentration. That is what is diffusion in chemistry. Also here also the same thing. But you may argue that you only said that there is no culture which is inferior or superior to the other. Culture is qualitative, we cannot measure. Yes, but at that time I also told you one point. Civilization is measurable. Is it clear? Civilization can be measured in the time traveled per unit, in the distance traveled per unit time, or in the fuel consumed per unit amount of the work. Okay, so like this we have clear scales to measure the civilization. A culture having better civilization is often loosely called as high culture, better culture, but the usage is wrong. I agree the usage is wrong, but the usage is there. Okay, there are certain wrong usages, but they are there. Like say for example, calling plants as producers in ecology is the biggest blunder ever, because thermodynamics says energy can neither be produced nor be destroyed. Okay, but still plants are being called as producers in every ecology textbook. Okay, so that is how galat to hai par usage mein hai. Is it clear? Okay, so this is there in the usage. Clear? Okay, so what do you mean by a high culture or a better culture? The culture with a better civilization. Civilization can be clearly measured. There is no doubt in that. Then process of diffusion may create culture change in the group. Obviously, we have some culture. We are taking few elements from outside. So we experience a change in the culture. After westernization, the Indian culture changed. Is it clear? Then there are some obstacles or barriers for the diffusion of culture. Certain obstacles or barriers for the diffusion of culture. What are the obstacles? Okay, geographical isolation. So, for example, Sentinelese, Jaravas, and all. Why they remain so much different when compared to the other cultures? Because geographic isolation. That's an island covered by water from all the sides. So they remained isolated for long. So geographic isolation, lack of transportation, communication, or some form of physical barrier like ocean, river, mountains, etc. Okay. Also, the Northeast India to remain physically, culturally different also because of the narrow chicken neck corridor and geographic isolation between Northeast India and the rest of the country. Okay. So like this, there are certain obstacles for the diffusion. Right. Okay. So till now we have seen certain general principles about diffusion. Is it clear? Okay. Then after that, in the syllabus they have given about 3 schools of diffusionism. Okay. They are British school, German school, American school. British school, German school, American school. School means what? School of thought. It means one way of thinking. Okay, it is one way of thinking, one ideology. Is it clear? School means school of thought. That is one way of thinking or one ideology. There are three schools of thought here: British School of Diffusionism, German School of Diffusionism, American School of Diffusionism. And in the syllabus, they did not mention the thinker names. Okay, so these names can be new to you. They are not familiar to you, like Tyler Morgan, Fraser, Marvin Harris, Malinowski, Radcliffe Brown, Levi Strauss. All these people, they became your friends by now. But these are not still friends. So meet your new friends here. Okay, G.E. Smith, W.J. Perry, W.H.R. Rivers, G.E. Smith, W.J. Perry, W.H.R. Rivers, okay, and German school F. Ratzel, J.W. Schmidt. Don't confuse between Smith and Schmidt, okay, and then Graebner. Is it clear? Okay. Then American School of Diffusionism. Actually, Franz Boas is also an American School of Diffusionism, but later he moved on, he discarded diffusion and proposed his own theory. Okay, that is historical particularism. So it is okay if you do not mention his name also, but okay, basically because he also belongs to historicism, na? So some of the sources will keep Franz Boas also in this category. Is it clear? Some sources will keep the name of Franz Boas because he is also an American thinker and he also belongs to historicism. But because he rejected diffusionism and proposed his own theory, historical particularism, it is okay if you do not mention his name. Okay, so Some sources are mentioning, some sources are not mentioning. So better leave him, because anyway we are discussing him under historical particularism. Better leave him. Okay. And then here Clark Whistler, A.L. Kroeber. Okay, Clark Whistler, A.L. Kroeber. Kroeber is familiar to you if you have attended my introduction class. So I have one favorite quotation, okay, given by Kroeber, that is, okay, anthropology is the most humanistic of the sciences and the most scientific of the humanities. Do you remember this? So I kept this in the PPT of my introduction class, and that's a standard PPT. I use it for introduction classes because that explains the nature of the subject. Okay, sociology, history, political science लिए तो वो humanities branches हैं. Botany, zoology, medical science लिए तो वो science है. So there is no confusion. So anthropology क्या है? क्या ये एक humanity subject है या एक science subject है? So it is two, both the science and the humanity. The physical anthropology and all, that is like a science. The social anthropology and all, right now what we are discussing, it's like a humanity. It's a combination of both, and especially when it is a science, it's a humanistic science. क्यों humanistic science है? क्योंकि science about humans ना. Okay, it's a science about humans, so humanistic science. Okay, a science that will flourish humanity. Okay, for example, take race concept. When you understand race concept, you will understand that, okay, if the Africans have fair skin, they die due to cancer. Okay, so dark skin is not only, it's not inferior, but inferior दूर की बात है, अगर वो नहीं है तो मर जाते लोग. Is it clear? You will understand it. So it will flourish humanity, isn't it? It is a science that encourages humanity, humanistic science. Okay. And when it is a humanity, it is not a vague humanity, scientific humanity. Rational thinking है इसमें, empirical evidences दिखा सकते हैं इसमें. Is it clear? So when it is a science, it's a humanistic science. When it is a humanity, it is a scientific humanity. And it is a humanity and science. So that is the reason why it explains the nature of the subject. So my favorite quotation, all-time favorite quotation. So in that context, maybe Kroeber is familiar to you. Okay. Then, and you don't have to write that quotation here. You can write that quotation if the question is compare between sociology and anthropology. That was a previous question 2 times. Is it? That was a previous question 2 times. Compare between sociology and anthropology and discuss the scope of anthropology. Such questions are coming. Okay. So for that you can write it. Is it clear? So quotations based on the situation. Okay. Not when the thinker comes. Right. Okay. So these are the American school of thinkers. So 3 schools of diffusionism: British school, German school, American school. First we are discussing British school. Okay. You know, British school is so simple. Okay. So we can complete it in just one line. Okay. According to them, culture originated only in Egypt. Culture originated, world culture originated only in Egypt. And from Egypt, it got diffused to various places, like in the form of concentric circles. Like, say, for example, when you put a stone in a pond, how the circles expand, how they will spread across the pond. So like that, the culture got diffused. So in the total world, culture got originated or invented only in Egypt. Okay. And remaining total world learned culture only from Egypt. So the remaining all countries, all continents learned culture only from Egypt. That's it. This is British School of Diffusionism. Okay. Then you may get one doubt. They said Egypt is the place of origin. From Egypt it got diffused. Then why are they called British School of Diffusionism? Why this is called British School of Diffusionism? Because, okay, thinkers are Britishers. Thinkers nationality. Okay. So these 3 names are based on thinkers nationality. not based on the concept. Okay, three schools are not named after the concept, they are named after the nationality of the thinkers who proposed it. British thinkers proposed that Egypt is the center for diffusion. Is it clear? So can we proceed? Okay. So actually British school completed, we just have to consolidate it, that is cover certain details about it. Okay. So British school of diffusionism considered ancient Egypt as a cultural cradle of the world. Cradle is the place where the child grows, right? So that is how culture ka cradle hai Egypt. Is it clear? Also called Pan-Egyptian school. British school is also known as Pan-Egyptian school because they proposed that Egypt is the culture cradle of the world. Clear for all of you? G.E. Smith was the founder of this theory. W.J. Perry is a true follower of G.E. Smith. G.E. Smith, founder of this theory. W.J. Perry, true follower of G.E. Smith. They are also called extreme diffusionists or Egyptologists, okay, as they believe that Egypt was the only center of culture. So, do you agree that it is an extreme diffusionism? So, thinking that that means in what way it is extreme? They did not even say that culture is originated in a few places. For example, if somebody says a few places, that is logical. जहाँ चांद से वहाँ originate हुआ, so both is at least okay logical है. But it is not even few places, only Egypt. They show certain reasons for it, okay, and like say for example, Egypt is having Nile river, okay, so fertile land, so therefore culture originated there. But okay, काफी सारे rivers हैं, okay, fertile land is present in many places. There are contemporary civilizations like Mesopotamian civilization, Indus Valley civilization, etc. Ignored all that, and culture originated only in Egypt. So therefore, we are calling it as extreme diffusionists. They are also called Egyptologists for the same reason. Is it clear? Then, so they argued that worship of the sun, which was originated in Egypt, found in all other parts of the world. We also have Devu Surya Namaskars, Sandhya Vandan. Okay, so like we worship sun as a god. We also have it. Every culture is having it. Okay, Egypt is also having it. And they proposed that we all copied worshipping the sun from Egyptians. Is it clear? We all copied worshipping the sun from Egyptians. Clear? Then. And do you have to agree with this? No need. You don't have to agree with this. That is their viewpoint. Then why should we know their viewpoint? Because they have given it in the syllabus. One clear-cut reason they have given it in the syllabus. Is it clear? Okay. And we should also sometimes see some things like I told you na. Hindu may read Quran. Why? To disprove it. अगर disprove करना है तो भी पढ़ना चाहिए ना. Like a Christian may read Vedas. Why? To disprove them. Okay, so like a Christian might be interested in reading Manusmriti. Okay, why a Christian will be interested in reading Manusmriti? क्योंकि disprove करने के लिए पढ़ना चाहिए. Is it clear? So first clear cut reason that we can all relate is syllabus में तो पढ़ना चाहिए. Okay, second thing अगर criticize करना है तो अगर discard करना है तो भी अगर ये like by understanding in what way it is wrong also can teach us a few things about culture. Is it clear? So therefore like we have to understand it. Is it clear? That is the actual reason. A reason that we all can relate is syllabus में है तो पढ़ना चाहिए. Okay, so now extreme diffusion is Egyptologist. They argued that worship of the sun that we all have is kind of diffused from, we all copied it, okay, from Egypt. We all copied it from Egypt. They mentioned migration as the main cause of diffusion. How the diffusion occurred? What is the means of diffusion? Migration. People migrated from Egypt to the other places. Okay, when they migrated, like they took the culture with them. By that time, other people were not cultured, so उनको देख के हम okay सीख लिया culture को. So that is what is diffusion idea. Is it clear? Then now, so now let us see particularly about G.E. Smith. Okay, in general, I explained what is British School of Diffusionism. Now let us see certain specific contributions of G.E. Smith. Okay, but before we proceed, can you just give me the synonyms of British School of Diffusionism? 3 more words were used. Okay, Pan-Egyptian, extreme diffusionism, and they are called Egyptologists. They are called Egyptologists. Okay, Pan-Egyptian, extreme diffusionism, and the thinkers are called Egyptologists. Okay, so now we have seen in general about diffusion, and then we have seen about British School of Diffusionism, and this diagram you have to draw. Okay, see, one thing is whatever diagrams that I am drawing, okay, try to definitely draw them. Plus on the top of it, if you get from your creativity or from other sources, you can draw them also. Diagrams are all important. All diagrams are important. Is it clear? Okay. Yes. So now let us see about G.E. Smith. He was a prominent British anatomist. See, he is also not an anthropologist like you. He is also a science student. Anatomy padliya, is it clear? Okay. Then and so many like that. Mendel was not a genetic student. Mendel was mathematics student, statistician. Okay. So most of the anthropologists are not anthropologists as such. Okay, they were in other fields. They developed interest in the culture and they studied. That's it. Okay. So he was a prominent British anatomist who produced a most curious view of cultural distribution, that Egypt was the source of all higher culture. Okay, so all aaj ka jo bhi culture hai, Egypt was a source for all that. Is it clear? He based this on the following assumptions. So now let us see on what basis he felt like that. Is it clear? First one, he thought man was uninventive. Invention करने का intelligence नहीं है. Man is dumb, uninventive. Okay. So culture seldom arose. Seldom means rarely arose. Is it clear? Culture seldom arose independently. And culture only arose in certain circumstances. It means basically man is dumb. So if all situations push him, then he will invent something. So that is the first point. Is it clear? If all the other situations give a lot of yes, you can do it, yes, you can do it, he will invent the things. Is it clear? Then. So these circumstances only existed in Egypt, which was the location from which all culture had spread after the advent of navigation. Okay. These circumstances that can motivate the people existed only in Egypt. So culture invented only. Basically, man is dumb now. So much of motivation needed. Those situations existed only in Egypt. So culture originated only in Egypt, and from there got migrated to the other places, diffused to the other places when the navigation was invented. Is it clear? Human history was full of decadence, and the spread of the civilization was naturally diluted. Okay, as it radiated outwardly. So means what? Just same thing. When you spray the perfume here you will get the maximum smell. By the time you go there at the corner of the room, you get the minimum smell of that. Is it clear? It means as it is radiating outward, it is getting diluted. So same way, at the origin, if you have certain, okay, 100 elements, culture elements, here you will have only 10 culture elements. Got my point? So as the culture is getting radiated, okay, the culture is getting diluted. Why? Because of this point. Do you remember? Okay. So like we take only those things only when they are meaningful or useful. So we do not take all their elements. We take only those elements which are useful. Okay. So let us suppose like at this level, the people thought only 50 are useful to them. They rejected other 50. So by this time, only 50 elements were there. These people from that 50, they took only 20, 30. Is it clear? They felt the other 10 are irrelevant for them. So these people took only 20 elements from them. They felt the other 10 are not relevant. These people took only 10. This is how, okay, the diffusion of culture is full of decadence. Decadence is also related to this dilution or destruction as it progresses. Is it clear? Full of decadence, and the spread of this civilization was naturally diluted as it radiated outward. Clear till now? Then he was now this paragraph will explain why he loved Egypt so much. Actually, as a tourist, he goes to Egypt and he got too much impressed by the Egyptian pyramids. And then in the world tour, he goes to the remaining places. In those places also he found large stone monuments. Then he thought, acha copy kar diya. Is it clear? So that is how he went to Egypt, okay, impressed with pyramids, then went to the other places, found stone monuments there also. Then he thought, okay, they must have copied them. So that is how this theory came, okay. He was impressed with Egyptian complexes of large stone monuments, that is pyramids, in his visit to Egypt, and felt that Mayan pyramids, Japanese pagodas, Cambodian temples, American Indian burial mounds. What are all these things? These are also stone monuments. Okay, they were all imitations of Egyptian pyramids. He thus came to a conclusion that civilization originated in Egypt and got diffused to the other places. Is it clear? And okay, simple conclusion, but a rushing conclusion. For this reason only, like many times I keep warning you, okay, that is, we should not rush to conclusions. So, okay, we have to think carefully, analyze it. If you quickly rush to conclusions, the conclusions will be like this only. Okay, so we have to take a pause, think about it, okay, and then we have to arrive at conclusions. Is it clear? Yes. Okay. Then pagodas are also stone monuments, Japanese language, some stone monuments like pyramids. Is it clear? Okay. The other Egyptian culture traits constituting the complex consisted of irrigation, agriculture, mummification. Okay, mummification means making mummies, preserving the dead bodies, ear piercings, okay, circumcision practices also got diffused to other areas. So not only stone monuments, other aspects of culture like this also got diffused to the other areas. Clear? Then he assumed that before the spread of civilization, Egypt से civilization diffuse होने से पहले, man lived like an animal, like a natural man. What do you mean by natural man? Man like animal, without clothes, without religion, without family, marriage, economy, political, nothing. So just like an animal he lived. Before, okay, culture came from Egypt, we all lived like that according to him. Is it clear? Okay. So he assumed that before the spread of civilization from Egypt, the earth was inhabited by natural man. And not only lacked domesticated animals, they do not have animal domestication, agriculture, houses, clothing, religion, social organization, hereditary chiefs, formal laws, marriage, burial rituals. All these things were not there. When all these things were not there, man lived like an animal. So Egypt से culture diffuse होने से पहले, okay, the total earth was full of natural men. Is it clear? Himself, okay, yes. Is it clear? Then, domesticate animals built towns and began to bury their dead bodies, developed and notions of deities, that is gods, okay, started traveling by land and sea in search of precious metals, and thus they rapidly spread civilization by diffusion and colonization. How the Egyptians spread the culture? Okay, by diffusion and colonization. They colonized different countries and then like that they spread the culture. Is it clear? Egyptians colonized different countries and thus they spread the culture. Thus all cultures were tied together by this thread of common origin. Is it clear? We all have a common origin according to this theory, agreed? It means you don't have to agree with the point, but according to this theory, okay, we all had a common origin. What is that? Egypt. Is it clear? Okay. So we all are tied together by this thread of common origin, inferring the psychic unity of mankind as a result, but not as cause for cultural similarities between cultures. This is a little bit of a tricky sentence, not much. Okay, but let me explain. Okay, see, I'll compare two theories, classical evolutionism and diffusionism. Okay, that too, like only I'm speaking about British school, okay, not all, only British school, because this is one extreme, that is other extreme. Is it clear? In the diffusionism also, other theories are not as extreme as Egypt. Okay, so I'm comparing these two. According to this one, okay, psychic unity of mankind okay, this is reason for similarity across the world cultures. Do you agree with this? Okay. And in theories, if I ask you, do you agree with this? Not on the whole. Do you agree with reference to that theory? क्या वो theory यही बोलते हैं क्या? Like that. Is it clear? Okay. So, psychic unity of mankind is a reason for similarity of cultures across the world. Means this explained psychic unity as cause, right? But okay, according to diffusionism, okay, diffusion and common origin is the reason for psychic unity of mankind. It means psychic unity of mankind is explained as result of diffusion. हम क्यों similarly सोचते हैं? Because of diffusion. We think similarly and we are similar because of diffusion. So this diffusionism also considers the psychic unity of mankind. But psychic unity of mankind is the result, not cause. Classical evolutionism says think alike, so therefore we invented same things. Okay, and diffusionism says, okay, we don't invent anything, we are dumb. Okay, so like diffusion happened, we all had a common origin, so we think similarly. We think similarly because we had a common origin. So both consider psychic unity of mankind, but one considers as a cause, the other considers it as a result. The same flow chart given in this paragraph. So is everything there in the notes? There, but in a different format, in a different place. Okay, then. So thus all cultures were tied together by the thread of common origin, inferring the psychic unity of mankind as a result, but not as a cause for cultural similarities between cultures. Is it clear? Then, so worldwide cultural development could be viewed as a reaction of native people to this diffusion of culture from Egypt. Okay. Similarities को तो ऐसा explain कर दिया. Then comes the question, how do they explain differences? How do they explain differences between cultures? So did you understand the question? They explain. See, first of all, do you agree that Different world cultures have both similarities and differences. Yesterday I told you marriage, monogamy, democracy, patriarchy, these are all similarities. Every culture is having it. Okay, exceptions ko chhod ke. Is it clear? Okay. But caste system, varna system, these are peculiarities, special aspects. So same way, every society will have certain things which are common, certain things which are specific, peculiar. Do you agree? Every human society will have certain aspects of culture which are common for every culture, and certain aspects of culture which are peculiar, unique in their culture. Is it clear? So how they need to explain both. They need to explain the common aspects, they need to explain peculiar aspects of similarities ko bhi peculiar bole to alag, okay, unique, different, okay, special, right? Okay, then so they have to explain similarities and differences both, right? They have to explain why similarities exist and why differences exist. So they explained similarities like this. Is the explanation for similarities clear? Is their explanation for similarities clear? Then how do they explain the differences? So different, agar common origin hai to difference kaisa aaya? Did you understand my point? When we have common origin, then how did we get these differences? That is, okay, their reaction of natives is different. Action is the same. Action is same. Reaction is different. It means when same element went to Australia, they reacted one way. Same element came to India, they reacted one way. Same element went to some Canada, they reacted in a different way. Same elements diffused from Egypt to every country, but the people there reacted differently to this diffusion. Okay, they selected different things. For example, we selected AB. Okay, they selected CD. They selected BC. One more people selected some C and A. Okay, is it clear? So because like we take only those things which are useful to us, na? We don't take every element. So it depends on our reaction and what elements they selected. Okay, so that is how he explained similarities and differences. Is it clear? Worldwide cultural development could be viewed as, it means अगर common origin है तो इतना difference कैसा आ गया? That is based on the reaction of the native people to this diffusion of culture from Egypt. Is it clear? The diversity exists as few cultures prospered and other cultures degenerated. Okay, this means what? This is second explanation for it. This is one point, this is second point. Okay, what is this? Let us suppose father has given equal property to two sons. One son prospered, developed the business. The other son, okay, deteriorated it, okay, and he lost whatever property given by the father also. The other person made it 1,000 times. So both brothers today are not at all similar, uncomparable situation. Is it clear? Okay. So same way, okay, like when we got same elements, but some of them prospered from there. वो cultural elements को लेके evolve हो गया. The other people deteriorated from there. This is also one reason for a difference between the cultures. Is it clear? This is also, okay, one explanation for differences between the cultures. Okay, two explanations. How did they explain culture differences? One explanation. Second explanation. Okay, some prospered, some deteriorated. So these are the two explanations for it. Is it clear? Then he proposed these assumptions in his book, The Origin of Civilization and Diffusion of Culture. Book title, Origin of Civilization, Diffusion of Culture. वहाँ originate हुआ, ऐसा diffuse हुआ. So you can easily remember it. Is it clear? Origin of culture, origin of civilization, diffusion of culture. Okay, and then criticism. This school of thought did not hold up long. Okay, due to its inability to account for independent invention. So they did not consider that people can independently invent a few things. They said that we should always copy. Okay, they did not consider that people can independently invent a few elements of culture. And inability to explain diversity. Then you may ask me the question, they explained the reason for diversity here. They gave two reasons for the diversity. But the critics felt that this explanation is not enough. Just these 2 points, because they mostly explain only quantitative differences. They mostly explain only quantitative differences. This explanation is not enough to explain that much diversity that we actually have. Just these two factors cannot be responsible for this much diversity that we have in the world. Is it clear? Okay. So critics are not satisfied with this explanation. They tried to explain, but critics were not satisfied with the explanation about the source of diversity in the culture. So this is criticism about him. So can we proceed? G.E. Smith contributions completed. Okay. Next one, W.J. Perry. Nothing much because he's a true follower, hai na? So nothing new in this. Is it clear? So we can quickly complete this in 5 minutes. So he supported the theory of G.E. Smith and popularized in his book The Children of the Sun. Criticism I told you, beta. Samiksha, कहाँ समीक्षा कर रहे हो आप? नहीं समझा बेटा? Explain करूँगी. Okay. कुछ नहीं, like they said, this school of thought did not hold up long. It means, okay, people did not follow this theory for, means आज के दिन हम नहीं follow कर रहे ये theory को. So we discard कर दिया इस theory को. Is it clear? People are not following it. Okay, it could not hold up long. Why? Because inability to account for independent invention. They scolded us that dumb fellows, no? So we got angry, so we discarded that theory. So do you accept if I scold you are dumb fellows means you will discard me. So I should be careful to you. Okay, I should not say you are dumb, you are waste. I should not talk like this. ऐसा बोला तो discard कर दिया. Okay. Second thing, आज के दिन वर्ल्ड में इतना सारा डाइवर्सिटी है, इतना सारा डाइवर्सिटी को ये थियोरी को लेके एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकेंगे. So that is second problem. Clear, Samiksha? We cannot explain this much diversity in the culture using this theory. Done? Can we proceed? Then. So next one, W.J. Perry. Is it clear? Okay. So because second explanation is petty, so you like it. Then. So now coming back to this, W.J. Perry is the true follower. So when he is a true follower, there is nothing new to study under him. So let us quickly complete what he said. Okay. He popularized G.E. Smith proposals in his book, The Children of the Sun. Is it clear? Okay. He popularized G.E. Smith proposals in his book, The Children of the Sun. He hypothesized that entire cultural inventory of the world had diffused from Egypt, same proposal. The development began in Egypt, according to them, about 6,000 years ago. So culture originated in Egypt when time period also he has given 6,000 years ago. This form of diffusion is known as heliocentrism. Okay, why? Because helio means sun, right? Egyptian culture में sun has a very important position. It means entire Egyptian culture is related to sun worship. Sun worship is means any puja they do, they start with sun worship first. Is it clear? So sun worship is center point of their culture. So, okay, just like them, in all our cultures also, sun worship is center to our culture, according to them, according to W.J. Perry. Okay? Sun worship is center to Egyptian culture. Sun worship is center to our culture also because we copied from Egypt. So it is called heliocentrism. So other synonyms like, say for example, British school, then Pan-Egyptian school, okay, extreme school of diffusionism, and heliocentrism. They're all synonyms. Is it clear? Okay. They are all, and the thinkers are called Egyptologists. Thinkers are called These are the synonyms for school of thought. Okay. Thinkers are called Egyptologists. They believed that same natural man concept that G.E. Smith gave, inhabited the world before the development began. The discovery of barley in 4000 BC enabled people to settle in one location. Okay, so ये तो सच है, like grains, when they cultivated grains, they started leading a settled life, not like nomadic. Okay, from that point, invention in culture exploded. So from there, like a revolution happened once they got settled. I think we discussed this yesterday. Once they got settled, they got time to think. Is it clear? Okay. In Garden Child, I told you, they got time to think. How I came onto the earth, who created me, where will I go after death? Okay, what gives me happiness? So, like they started thinking about all this. Before that, running behind the animals. Time nahi tha sochne ke liye. So, culture evolution got kind of, it took momentum from the point that where we got settled. Is it clear? After that, only they got time to think. So, invention of culture exploded. Okay, kind of took a momentum from there and was spread during Egyptian migrations by land and sea and spread to the other places when Egyptians migrated both by land and by sea. Clear for all of you. He also stated that transmission of culture is accompanied by degradation, same decadence, dilution. He said, no, same concept. Decadence, dilution is the words used by G.E. Smith. He used the word degradation. No culture is enduring in nature. Culture goes on diluting as it radiates outwards. No culture is enduring. Enduring means long lasting in the culture, in the nature. Is it clear? Right? So almost nothing new. So in W.J. Perry, you have to remember the things in red color. That's it. Book name, heliocentrism. Okay, this sentence. These are the 3 points that you have to remember. Okay, natural man also I kept, but this is already given there. Okay. So the 3 concepts you have to remember. His book name, okay, and he called it as he called this school of thought as heliocentrism, and then degradation, that no culture is enduring in nature. Fine. So next one, W.H.R. Rivers. He was a British doctor and a psychiatrist who became interested in ethnology after he went on a Cambridge expedition to the Torres Straits in 1898. Okay, he was a doctor and a psychiatrist. He developed interest in ethnography, that is studying about culture. When he went on a Cambridge expedition means research, exploration. Okay, he went on a Cambridge expedition to Torres Straits in 1898. So when he happened to go to that particular exploration, he developed interest in the study of culture. He later pursued research in India and Melanesia. His interest in kinship established him as a pioneer in genealogical method. This point now, this is important for Unit 8 research methods. Okay, so if you have gone through the syllabus in the unit 8, we have research methods. One of the method is genealogical method or GT method. I don't remember which word they have given. These are two names of it. GT method, genealogical method. He is the founder of that method. Okay. So what is that method we will discuss in unit 8, but you can write this point if the question is on genealogical method. For that you have to remember it. Okay. Rivers was converted to diffusionism while writing his book, The History of Melanesian Society. In 1911, he was the first to speak out against evolutionism. He was the first person to speak against evolutionism. He found 5 different types of burying rituals in Australia, okay, which is otherwise a homogeneous population. He proposed that they might have come from 5 different places. I hope you understood this. Okay, in Australia, he found 5 different types of burial practices. Burial rituals were 5 different types. Okay, so then he got it out how it is possible. So he said that they diffused from different places. So therefore they are different. Is it clear? If burial practices were invented in Australia, they should be similar, right? If they were invented in that place only, they must be similar, but they were not similar. They have 5 types of burial practices. How it is possible? He said they are diffused from 5 different places. So with this point, he was the first person to argue against evolutionism. Is it clear? So this is about WHR Rivers. With that, British School of Diffusionism completed. So one theory, British School of Diffusionism is completed. Moving on to the next one. This is German or continental or German Austrian. In the syllabus it is given like this, but there are other names like Continental School of Diffusionism, German Austrian School of Diffusionism, etc. Is it clear? Okay. We'll proceed with this, but if you have any doubts in the British school, you can ask. I hope the British school is completely clear. Okay. So let us proceed with German school. Other names for German school are Continental School, German Austrian School, etc. And in this, we are first discussing the contributions of Fritz Graebner. Okay. Memorize the name Graebner. 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 Fritz Graebner. Okay. Next. He was a German anthropologist who was a leading diffusionist thinker. German school was led by Fritz Graebner. Is it clear? German school was led by founder of this school. Okay. And to account for independent invention of cultural elements, it means, look at here, independent invention. Okay. All of you focus on this word and tell me, is this word related to evolution or diffusion? Independent invention, is it related to evolution or diffusion? Evolution. So it means just like Tyler accepted that there is a little scope of diffusion, okay, Graebner accepted that there is a little scope for evolution as well. Flexible diffusionism. Is it clear? It means Graebner did not completely rule out the possibility of evolution. Sometimes independent invention also can happen. Okay. But I told you the difference between a flexible evolutionist and a flexible diffusionist. A flexible evolutionist will say 90% evolution, 10% scope of diffusion. But a flexible diffusionist will say 90% diffusion, 10% evolution. 90-10 are not fixed. वो नंबर का स्पेशलिटी क्या है? कुछ नहीं बेटा, वो मेरा मन में आ गया तो दे दिया. So it means majorly evolution. Okay, so little scope of diffusion is there, and here majorly diffusion, little scope of evolution is also there. Is it clear? Okay, so now to account for the independent invention. So like when they felt that independent invention is also possible, they have to explain it. So to account for that, that is to explain that, okay, the theory of culture circles was utilized. It means this theory is also known as, okay, culture circle theory. Is it clear? This theory is also known as culture circle theory. And what do you mean by culture circles? These are culture circles. Is it clear? Okay, let us draw them again. These are known as culture circles, are also known as circles, concentric circles, also known as culture crease. Is it clear? Correct only, but I'll just look at here. Kulturkreis. Okay, culture crease. That's a German word, okay, for culture circle. Culture crease means culture circle only. It's German word for culture crease. And why did I keep this E in the brackets? That makes the word plural. Okay, it means if you have one circle, you have to call it as culture crease, no E. If you have to say culture circles, then you have to keep E there. Okay, so to account for independent invention of culture elements, the theory of culture circles was utilized. This theory argued that culture traits develop in a few places of the world and diffused in concentric circles or culture circles. Thus, worldwide socio-cultural development could be viewed as a function of interaction of expanding culture circles with native cultures and other cultures. So what do you mean by this? Let me explain it through diagram. Okay, look at here. So after we complete the diagram, then I will read the paragraph, then you will understand. Now you felt like Greek and Latin, right? After the diagram, you will understand it. Okay. So take down the diagram. Okay, so let us now assume this as like A, B, C and D. Okay, then keep answering these questions. Keep answering these questions at this point. Okay, at this point, which two, you can use A, B, C, D letters. Which two cultures are interactive? A and B. Okay, at this point, okay, observe that I kept it out of red color. Okay, observe that I kept it out of red color. So if I keep like this ABC, okay, but this point, just wait for few seconds. Okay, so ABCD. Okay, so at this point, it is A and B, right? At that point, it is A and B. Okay, then at this point, okay, at this point, ABCD. Okay, then at this point, C and D. Also, can I say that the expanding culture circle of D, listen to this statement carefully, expanding culture circle of D interacted with native culture of C, origin से interact हुआ यहाँ, is it clear? The expanding culture circle of D, okay, interacted with native culture of C. So same way here at this point, expanding culture circle of dash, expanding culture circle of dash, C, interacted with dash of A, interacted with dash of A, native culture of A. Is it clear? This explains diversity better than the explanation for diversity in the British school. Do you agree? This can, because one is AB, the other is BC, the other is CD, the other is ABCD, the other is ABC, the other is CDA. Okay. So this explains diversity between the cultures in a better way when compared to the explanation for diversity in the British school. And here, okay, the interaction can happen between, okay, two types of interactions we have here. One is interaction between expanding culture circles of two cultures, or okay, expanding culture circle of one culture with the native culture of, okay, the native culture of other society. Is it clear? Two expanding circles can interact, or one expanding circle can interact with the other native culture. See, for example, here, if you observe here, two expanding circles are interacting, but here one expanding culture is interacting with the native culture of the other. So this is the reason for diversity. Now let us read this paragraph once. Is it clear? Okay. And tell me if you did not understand this. The culture, they argued that culture traits developed in few places of the world and diffused in concentric circles or culture circles. Till there it is clear. This point is worldwide socio-cultural development, how the socio-cultural development happened in the world. It can be viewed as, it can be understood as a function of, it means it is because of interaction of expanding culture circles with the native cultures and other culture circles. Is it clear? How do you explain the worldwide socio-cultural development? It is because of the interactions between, okay, expanding culture circles with native cultures and expanding culture circles with the other culture circles. Is it clear? So this is how they expand, okay, the diversity of cultures. And you can draw this. You will not take time to draw this. I took time because I used these shapes. Circle shape को use कर दिया मैंने. So like the total shape it comes was not under my control completely. So I took some time, but you can draw it in few seconds, 2-3 seconds max to draw this. Is it clear? Okay. So now you can draw that diagram, okay? In that diagram only, because you cannot draw many, in this only you can also indicate that culture crease concept. Is it clear? Culture crease word, you can indicate in this only, instead of again separately drawing that diagram, okay? Instead of drawing this separately, you can ignore this and you can draw only that. Is in that only you can label other components also, right? Next, the development of culture took place not only in place like Egypt. In this diagram you can understand that also. Not one origin. Look at this diagram and this diagram. This is Egypt wala diagram. So it was only one origin. But here there are many origins. I have shown 4. वो भी बहुत सारे difficulties है. Okay, but in fact many such origins. Is it clear? They did not say 4. No, not 4 places. Okay, not 4 specific, not 4 fixed, many places. Wherever possible, okay, there the invention happened. In the diagram we have shown 4. क्योंकि place इतना ही था. Is it clear? Okay, you can also like show it with 2 also. Like in the exam you don't have time. Okay, like you cannot give 10 seconds for it. 5 ही second में खत्म करना है. तो like 2 origin से भी explain कर सकते हैं. Is it clear? Okay, then so ABC up to your wish. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, so development culture took place not only in Egypt, okay, but also in different places at several parts of the world from where it was initiated and migrated to different. Migration, diffusion, same. One difference is not only Egypt, few places. Is it clear? Few. How many is not fixed? Few places. Then, okay. He believed that discovery of all aspects of culture is not possible at same time in same place. How do you invent everything? Maybe you invent a few and you can diffuse a few. Is it clear? You invent a few things, like I told you in the exam. Okay, you answered everything, but 3-4 questions pata nahi tha, multiple choice hai. Okay, so when the invigilator is like little flexible, you try to ask your friend. So invention of everything is not possible. We invented a few things, we copied a few things. Is it clear? So it means this is not extreme school of diffusionism for two reasons. First reason, okay, see, let us clearly note it down. Not extreme for two reasons. Okay, first reason, not only one but few places of origin. That is the reason. Second reason, not only diffusion, scope for independent invention also. Is it clear? Scope for independent invention also. These are the two reasons why this is not an extreme school of diffusionism. Is it clear? Then, according to him, each culture, trait and complex has a circle from where they migrated to different places. So for every element, there will be an origin from where it came. Is it clear? For every element, there is an origin from where it came. Okay. This school of thought is known as culture Kreis school. That is a German word for culture circle. Culture Kreis singular, culture Kreis plural for culture circles and culture circle school. This theory is known as culture circle school. Okay, and culture Kreis school. German school, German Austrian school, continental school. These are the synonyms here. Okay, I have written all synonyms here itself so that it will be easy for your revision. Okay, then as they felt that the origin of various cultures must be historically traced, this theory is also known as culture historic school. Okay, see, every element has a place of origin. So we have to know, okay, we have to study history of that element, okay, and know from where and when it came. Is it clear? So we have to study the history. क्यों history को analyze करना पड़ेगा? Okay, to know these culture elements diffused from which place at what point of time. So therefore, this theory is also known as culture historic school. Culture historic school, yes, that is the reason why diffusionism also comes under historicism. Diffusion, history, what is the link between these two? Okay, so to understand about diffusion, you have to study history. So history पढ़े तो समझ में आता है कि ये कल्चर एलिमेंट कहाँ से आया है और कब आया है. Is it clear? Okay, so for that reason they have to, okay, study history. Therefore it is also known as culture historic school. Okay, as they felt that origin of various culture traits must be historically traced, it is also known as culture historic school. Then Grebner, in his book De Methoder Ethnology, German title De Methoder Ethnology, okay, proposed that the idea that early man invented basic culture, they soon formed small bands. Early man invented culture. Then they formed small bands. Then each band had their distinctive culture. Every band is having its own culture. Such bands migrated in all directions and populated all continents. All continents. So that is how the culture migrated to different places. Is it clear? Culture originated in few places. Step 1. Step 2, they formed small bands. Point number 3, हर एक band का culture अलग है. And these bands migrated and colonized different continents. That is how the culture got diffused to different continents. The task of culture historians is to trace and reconstruct various culture circles. अभी हम ये culture circles को, ये route को trace करना पड़ेगा. Is it clear? We have to trace the route from which these culture elements migrated here. Right? Route and time of this culture elements. Next, Graebner and his followers were not satisfied with such tracing, but they were also interested in reconstruction of chronology. Do you remember I told you about evolution also? That is, they gave scope for evolution also, right? So, here I will try to explain one concept. You have to draw like this, okay? Mm, just wait. After I complete drawing, then you can take it. Okay, so I have drawn 6 small band. No, band means, band political organization. We have seen unit 4 political anthropology. Band means one small group of people, right? Band means group of people. Okay, so culture invented in few places. From those places, few bands means groups of people migrated. ऐसा हर एक ग्रुप का, हर एक बैंड का एक अलग कल्चर है. These bands migrated to different continents and colonized. That is how different continents got culture. अभी हमारा काम क्या है? ये रूट को ट्रेस बैक करना है. What is the route through which they traveled and when they traveled? What is the route through which the culture diffused and when different elements got diffused? ये रूट को retrace करना पड़ेगा. वापस जाके like history पढ़ के we have to trace that route through which we got different culture elements. So therefore it is called as culture historic school, and these things are called culture historians. Therefore, diffusionism comes under a broad school of thought called as historicism. Is it clear? Diffusionists, historical particularism, both the theories, okay, study the history. So therefore, it is called culture historic school. Okay. Then, so here, okay, if you observe in this 1, 2, 3, see in red color, whatever I have drawn, in the red color, what I have drawn, they are, so imagine I have drawn 4 such things. So those are known as culture circles, okay? And in the white color, what I have drawn, they are known as culture strata. Culture strata. Is it clear? It means, okay, this one vertically when you go, that explained, okay, they are strata, and strata explain about evolution. Is it clear? The strata explain about evolution. Evolution, and they are chronological. Is it clear? Or vertically what I have shown, that is chronological, time period. Okay, means like say for example, this is, okay, the earliest, this is So this is earliest, this is okay, the latest. Okay, this is earliest, that is latest. Okay, chronological evolution. Strata means what? Layers. Layers indicate chronology. Okay, earliest means primitive, latest means advanced. Earliest means primitive, latest means advanced. Okay, then, so horizontally, like horizontally, this is getting diffused now. This explains about diffusion. So red color indicate about diffusion, white color indicate about evolution. Got my point? Vertically evolution, horizontally diffusion. Vertically evolution, horizontally diffusion. Is it clear? Okay. So it means, let us suppose, okay, look at here, look at me. Let us suppose culture originated here. From there it got diffused. Not like this. Not only diffused hote hue, evolve bhi hua. Then again here also it got diffused. After evolution also it got diffused. So while getting evolution, diffuse hote hue, evolve bhi ho gaya. So at the next level also it diffused. Is it clear? While getting diffused, it evolved also. It means this is explaining evolution and diffusion together. Is it clear? Diffused, evolved, again diffused, evolved, again diffused, evolved. Diffusion at each stage of evolution. Culture is evolving and also getting diffused at each stage of evolution. I repeat, culture is evolving and getting diffused at each stage of evolution. So, culture strata indicate evolution, culture circles indicate diffusion. Okay? Then, so now look at here. Graebner and his followers were not satisfied with such tracing, but they were also interested in reconstruction of chronology on the basis of research carried out in Oceania. The place where they did the research is Oceania. Oceania is a huge geographic region including Australia and surrounding places. Is it clear? Graebner reconstructed 6 successive layers. Successive layers बोले तो एक के बाद एक. They are known as culture strata of cultural development. Development is related to evolution. Is this paragraph clear? Okay. Then, so what are those 6? These are those 6. Polynesian patrilineal culture. It means here. This is that. Okay, Polynesian. Again, writing is difficult. I'll number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so first one is okay, Polynesian. Acha, okay, Polynesian patrilineal culture. Recent. Yes. Okay, yes. Numbering given correctly. Okay. So this is recent. Polynesian patrilineal culture is recent. Oldest is Tasmanian culture. Oldest Tasmanian culture. Number 1, this one. Okay, oldest Tasmanian culture. Okay. Second stage, Australian boomerang culture. You know, boomerang means they put like this and it will come back. In Jungle Book, Mowgli uses it. Okay. So a tool for hunting, if you put, it will come back. Okay. So Australian boomerang culture. Next, totemic hunter culture. It means at this, like they developed, they are still hunter-gatherer and they developed totemism. Okay. And then 2-class horticulturist culture. 2-class means what? Stratification started. Do you remember I told you stratification is a characteristic of advanced society? Primitive societies are egalitarian. More stratification in advanced society means We have a lot of rich and poor differences, but in some tribes like Sentinelese, Jaravas, etc., very primitive tribe, all are equal. When wealth itself is not there, kahan se wealth differences? Is it clear? So therefore, two classic means stratification. They are evolving now. So stratification started. Is it clear? Melanesian bow culture. They invented bow and arrow by this time. Culture is evolving. Polynesian patrilineal culture. Patrilineal tradition started by this time. So this is how the culture evolved. This is chronological order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it clear? This one also you can draw. And you can write them there only. At the diagram only you can write this. The 6 layers. You can directly write them instead of drawing the diagram, numbering them, and again writing it. You can directly label the diagram. Is it clear? Done? Next. Okay. So each of these had counterparts in other parts of the world also. This point is important. Okay. See, like, so should you call Indian culture as Tasmanian culture? Q Tasmania word, because that is a place where they studied. Similar events happened in other parts of the world also. Is it clear? Yeah, boomerang was used only in Australia? No. Simultaneously it was used. Okay, such things. Okay, same thing again. Just imagine same diagram here again, same diagram here again. Okay, such events happened at many places in the world. Is it clear? So the names are given based on the place where they did the research. Each of these had counterparts in the other parts of the world. Graebner classified diffusion into two types. According to him, diffusion is two types. Okay, primary diffusion, secondary diffusion. This is very simple. Let us see that. Okay. See, when culture diffuses from the place of origin to the first place, it is called as primary diffusion. And when the culture diffuses from first place to any next place, that is called as secondary diffusion. Secondary diffusion. Origin to first circle, primary. Okay, first circle to any next circle, secondary. Not tertiary, quaternary and all. First to any next, secondary. Is it clear? Okay. Diffusion from origin to the first place, example Tasmanian culture. Secondary diffusion, diffusion from first place to the subsequent places, any places. The definition made it clear. So like this, there are two types of diffusion. Two types of diffusion. Okay. So Graebner's contributions completed. Okay. Any doubts in Graebner's contributions? Let us just have a small recap. Okay, this German school is known as Culture Circle School, Culture Crease School, Culture Historic School, German Austrian School, and Continental School. These are the different names of it. Okay, Fritz Graebner is the founder of this theory, and he spoke about culture circles, concentric circles, culture crease. They're all synonyms. So culture not only in Egypt, in multiple places. Okay. And then this paragraph, worldwide socio-cultural development is function of interaction of expanding culture circles with native cultures or with other culture circles. So that paragraph explained through this diagram. Okay. And not only in Egypt, in other places also. Right. Then after that, okay, so all elements cannot be invented in the same place at the same time. So different elements got invented in different places in different timings. Okay, then so this is culture circle, culture crease, and all that. It is also known as culture historic school. Why it is culture historic school? Because we have to trace the route through which we got different culture elements. Okay, then we got these elements, and from where we got these elements, वो root को trace करना पड़ेगा by analyzing the history. Therefore, it is also known as culture historic school. Okay, and in this book, he proposed that, okay, invention that early man invented basic culture, soon they formed, that is how the diffusion formed. Early man invented culture, they formed small groups, each group had a different culture, and they migrated to different places, and they took culture along with them. So that is how the culture spreads to the different continents. Okay, Gredner gave all these explanations, but he and his followers were not still happy. So they felt little evolution is also possible. To accommodate that, they proposed the concept of culture strata as well. In this diagram, the white color things, that is vertical things, are strata. The horizontal things or the red color things are diffusion. So the culture will get diffused, and while it is getting diffused, it will keep evolving also. Again, the next level, evolved culture also will diffuse. So these two things happen simultaneously. And these are the names of 6 successive layers with time. And the names looks like only a regional names. Why only these names? Because the names are given based on the place where they did the research. Similar events of evolution and diffusion and evolution happened in the other places also. And diffusion is two types: primary diffusion, secondary diffusion. Okay, so that's it. Fritz Graebner done. So I hope all concepts clear. Very good. Thank you so much. Then, okay, Father Pater Wilhelm Schmidt. Wilhelm Schmidt, you can remember like that also. Okay, so he was a Catholic priest in Germany. This is not difficult because it's almost like Fritz Graebner only. He's a follower. Fritz Graebner founder. He is a follower. Okay. So he's a Catholic priest in Germany and an ethnologist who studied relationships of the world, religions of the world, and wrote extensively on their relationship. He was a Catholic priest. His interest was religion. So he wanted to study the religions of the world and try to identify whether there is any relationship between the world religions. So in that process, he got attracted to anthropology. Is it clear? I repeat, he was a Catholic priest interested in religion. So he wanted to study the world religions and try to find out whether there is any relation between the different religions of the world. So that is how he developed interest in anthropology. And he declared himself a follower of Graebner. He divided the culture of the world into different strata and circles, just like Graebner did. Strata and circles, just like Graebner did. But, okay, when Graebner said 6 strata, he gave, okay, 4 strata, okay, 4 temporal grades. Temporal means, okay, time related. Is it clear? 4 temporal grade. Grade 1, grade 2, they are also indicating evolution, right? Temporal grades. The word is clearly indicating their stages of evolution, just like strata. Okay, then temporal grades of cultures. हर एक culture का grades भी रहता है. Is it clear? Okay, for each culture, so for this culture there are grades also. Then, so what are they? First one, primitive culture strata. Do one thing, please change it as strata. Please make this correction. Change this as strata. Okay, in the strata you have circles, isn't it? First check the diagram. Do you agree that? Okay, let me just draw it for him again so that it will be more clear. Within the strata, you have circles, isn't it? Circles, okay, under strata. Is it clear? Circles come under the strata. So, he gave strata and the circles that come under that strata. It means this one is that white color strata. And in this I have given ABC, ABC. They are that circles. Is it clear? Crease, crease, like that. Got my point? Okay. Otherwise, I'll just show one of them more clearly. Okay. If you observe, this is primitive culture. Strata. In that there are 3 circles. So let us assume the first one is central or exogamous crease. Okay. Central or exogamous crease. Okay. Arctic crease. Okay. Antarctic crease. Okay. So that is creases. So the 3 circles come under the strata. Is it clear? So that is the meaning of this one, ABC. Okay, so like this. Okay, one, okay, ABC. Got my point. Clear till now? Okay, so first stratum is primitive culture strata. Please change this as strata. Otherwise it will be confusing. Primitive culture strata. Under that, okay, exogamous or central crease. This corresponds to pygmy people of Asia and Africa, distinguished by their exogamous hordes and their monogamous families. They are characterized by exogamous horde. Horde means what? Group. A group of people that marry with the other group. Exogamous horde. Okay. And their monogamous family. Yes, pygmies are a tribe in Africa. Yes. Is it clear? Then, okay, Arctic crease corresponds to Samoyeds, Eskimos, Algonquians, etc. Distinguished by, means characterized by exogamy and sexual equality. That is their characteristic feature. Same way, Antarctic crease corresponding to southeastern Australians, Bushmen, Tasmanians, etc. Second stage, primary stage. You can keep the word stage, that is okay. Circle hai to badal do, that's it. In that 3 circles, stage, they are circles. Is it clear? These 3 are circles. Okay. And then secondary stage, third grade, stage or grade, you can keep. Stage, grade, strata, okay. Circle word aa gaye to badal do. Is it clear? So in that too, free patrilineal system, free matrilineal system. Okay, in these 2 places, the culture is different. Is it clear? Tertiary grade, this is higher civilizations of Asia, Europe, Africa. Circles differ geographically. Strata differ time period wise. Is it clear? Strata differ time period wise. Circles differ geographically. Circles exist in different geography because that is geographic diffusion. Diffusion happens geographically, isn't it? So that's it, completed, it's over. Okay, and then mostly you don't have to write this in the exam. Mostly in any question they ask, you will not have to write all this. You can simply write primitive, primary, secondary, tertiary. Okay, 4 grades, primitive, primary, secondary, tertiary. That much if you write, it is enough. So don't worry much about it. One good point about diffusion is, okay, one very good point about diffusion is names of thinkers not mentioned, isn't it? Names not mentioned. So you will not get a question like Morgan's, discuss Morgan's contributions on marriage, family, kinship. Such questions were never there from diffusion. Is it clear? It means they will not ask you to write the contributions of Fritz Graebner. They will not ask you to write the contributions of G.E. Smith. Okay, so the types of questions possible from this is write a note on diffusionism. Then like you have to write about all the three schools, or maybe write a note on British School of Diffusionism. Okay, then it's okay. Let us suppose you remember about Schmidt, but you forgot about, okay, you remembered about Graebner, but you forgot about Schmidt. It's okay. You can just write that Schmidt is a follower of Graebner. On the whole, you have to write some impressive content on German school. So you can prepare some 250 words content on each school. That is enough. You should not do it from the thinker's point of view. So any type of question that appeared in the past years never demanded the students to write, okay, about this much details about Schmidt. Is it clear? Okay. In any of the previous questions, you don't have to write all these details, so don't worry about it. Is it clear? Okay. So about Schmidt, you can simply remember primary, secondary, primitive primary, secondary, tertiary. That is enough. Okay. Then reactions. According to Marvin Harris, the most striking feature of the scheme is evolutionism. He's saying diffusionism, but he explained about evolutionism. This is how Marvin Harris reacted. Okay, is it a criticism? No. Okay, good only. No, they consider the possibility of evolution. So therefore, it comes under points of reaction. Okay, it comes under points of reaction. Is it clear? And then criticism. His scheme has no empirical basis and was highly speculative. Okay, he could not prove his theory. Marvin Harris says that diffusion could not explain the reason for acceptance, rejection, and modification of culture traits. Diffusionism could not explain why people accepted few traits, rejected few traits, and accepted few traits with modification. They could not, we may know them, but they could not explain the logic. Is it clear? They did not explain why the people accepted few traits, rejected few traits, okay, and accepted few traits with modifications. Why we did not learn Chinese language but learned Chinese cuisine, food, okay, but accepted Chinese food with Indian modifications. That he could not explain. Is it clear? So, okay, with that we completed the contributions of, Schmidt. Is it clear? Can we proceed? Can we proceed? Okay. Then the next thinker in the British school only, sorry, in the German school only, next thinker, Ratzel, Frederick Ratzel. Okay. His point is very, very interesting. Let us complete only this one for today. Principle of form and Gedank, this is a German word. It is known as criterion of form. Okay, simple. I'll explain it later. We can read it. Okay, answer this question, all of you. Okay, so see, importantly, Supriya, if you say like this, I will get a compulsion of continuing. So don't say that. Okay, so don't say that. Now I am compelled to continue. Okay, then. So now listen this carefully. This is very interesting point. Supriya, please answer this question. Let us suppose two students wrote the exam. Supriya beta, okay, please answer this. Okay, let us suppose two students wrote an exam. Okay, and the question was 2 plus 2 is equal to how much? Okay, A wrote the answer as 4. B also wrote the answer as 4 only. Both have written the same answer. So, okay, can I say that they both copied? Supriya, can I say that they both copied? No. Okay. But they both wrote the name as Supriya only. Okay, इन्होंने सुप्रिया लिख दिया, इन्हों भी वही लिख दिया. तो अभी बोल सकती क्या मैं? Okay, that they copied it. Can I say that they both copied it? Yes, yes. Okay. So it means what? It means what? Okay. See, when, okay, when you have this continental school gave scope for diffusion and independent invention both, right? Diffusion, independent invention both. Is it clear? So, okay, they had a responsibility of saying for each element, अगर एक element है तो अगर हमारे culture में एक element है तो they have to say whether it is copied or invented. Do you agree? Okay. So the point is, for every similarity, we cannot say that they copied. अगर 2 plus 2 4 लिख दिया तो you copied means how it is possible? Can we say every similarity? Can we say every similarity is because of copy? Here I'm using the word copy for a diffusion. Okay, that's a small, okay, funny way to say diffusion. Don't write in the exam like that. Don't copy this. Okay, diffusion ही लिखना है. Okay, I am just writing this in a funny way. Is it clear? Okay, so can we say every similarity is copy? Can we say every similarity is copy? No. Fine. Then how do you say? अगर ये सिमिलैरिटी, लिसन दिस, अगर ये सिमिलैरिटी काम का है तो यूजफुल सिमिलैरिटी है तो फंक्शनल सिमिलैरिटी है तो वी कैन नॉट से इट इज कॉपी. ओके, इफ द सिमिलैरिटी इज लाइक यूजलेस सिमिलैरिटी, यूजलेस है फिर भी सिमिलर है, लाइक नेम इज सेम, रोल नंबर इज सेम, देन जरूर ये कॉपी ही होगा. इज इट क्लियर? So, depending on the nature of similarity, we can say whether it is copy or not. For example, okay, now ये roll number, नाम and answer example को छोड़ के anthropological example पर आएंगे. Let us suppose, okay, bow and arrow in two different culture. Okay, arrow is sharp. Arrow is sharp. Sharp tip. In one place A, in B. So can I say A be copied? A को देख के arrow को sharp बना दिया B ने. A को देख के arrow को sharp बना दिया B ने. No need बेटा. क्योंकि for example, let us suppose try to stitch a cloth with a spoon. Try to stitch a cloth with a spoon. You will soon understand that spoon से काम नहीं चलेगा. Needle चाहिए. ट्रायल एंड एरर मेथड दे विल अंडरस्टैंड इट. ये कॉमन सेंस का बात है. इज इट क्लियर? तो एरो को शार्प करने के लिए डिफ्यूजन नहीं चाहिए. सो इट मींस दिस इज लाइक 2 + 2 = हाउ मच. 4 लिखने के लिए कॉपी करने का जरूरत नहीं है. इज इट क्लियर? ओके, बट अगर वो एरो के शाफ्ट पर, लाइक दिस इज अ फेदर डेकोरेशन, feather decoration. Is it clear? Feather decoration. अगर ये same है तो, if this is same in two different culture, हाँ कॉपी कर दिया. ये नाम के जैसा है, ये रोल नंबर के जैसा है. Because this is not some useful, this is not having any functionality. Okay, so yes, you can say they must have copied, they must have diffused. The feather pattern decoration is diffused. Okay, so it means that is principle of criterion of form. Criterion of form. Is it clear? Okay, it means ये कैसा form है वो देख के पता चलेगा कि ये invented है या diffused है. Okay, in German language the principle of Formengedank by Ratzel. Let us read it out now. According to him, every similarity cannot be taken as a proof of historical connection. Every similarity, you both are connected na, you both are friends na, you copied each other na. I cannot say like that for every similarity you write. Is it clear? Okay, so according to Ratzel, every similarity cannot be taken as a proof of historical connection because objects of material culture must possess certain features in order to have utility. Useful होने के लिए definitely certain features होना चाहिए, like spoon से stitching नहीं होता. Okay, for example, a canoe paddle needs a blade and an arrowhead or a spear must have a pointed tip. If, however, the other similarities which are not related to the use से related नहीं है, जैसे नाम के जैसा, रोल नंबर के जैसा, okay, use they serve as a proof of historical. आप दोनों friends है ना, copy कर दिया ना, so like that we can say. Is it clear? You had a contact at one point of time, right? So diffusion happened. So that is what is the criterion of form. Principle of form and rank or criterion of form. When flexible evolution is accept that evolution, diffusion both are possible, okay, then they had a responsibility of finding out whether this particular element is because of evolution or diffusion. वो पहचानने के लिए, okay, Ratzel proposed this rule. Is it clear? अगर ये similarity काम का है तो okay, no need of doubting the copy. ओके अगर ये यूजलेस सिमिलैरिटी है तो कॉपी हो सकता है, डिफ्यूजन हो सकता है. इज इट क्लियर? ओके, सो दैट इज Ratzel's contributions. Ratzel contribution. Okay, so yes, like Supriya was asking me, I will stop this class here today. And what about tomorrow? Okay, we can afford probably like 5-10 minutes we have to spend extra.